The first photo on the USB was taken through my bedroom window. I didn't realize that at first. I just saw a picture of myself sitting at my desk, headphones on, back slightly hunched while I typed an essay. It looked normal until I recognized the angle. It wasn't from inside my room. It was from outside. I'm 20 years old, and last year I moved into a small basement apartment about 15 minutes from my university. It was my first time living alone. I've always been anxious, the type who double-checks locks and jumps at unexpected noises, so the idea of living by myself already had me on edge. That night, I had stayed late at the university library finishing a research paper. The library closes at midnight during exam season, and I left around 11:45 p.m. The campus was mostly empty. I remember feeling watched as I crossed the quad, but I told myself I was being paranoid. Halfway home, I heard someone call my name. I turned, but the sidewalk behind me was empty. That's when I noticed something near the curb, a small white envelope. On the front, it said, "For you" in black marker. I picked it up. Inside was a USB drive wrapped in a bright yellow sticker, and my name was written across it. My heart dropped. I stood there longer than I should have, staring at it. I don't know why I picked it up. Curiosity, I guess. Or maybe the fact that it said, "For you" made it feel personal, urgent. I brought it home. For almost 10 minutes, I just stared at it on my desk. My apartment felt smaller than usual. The only light on was my desk lamp. Finally, I plugged it into my laptop. There was only one folder on it. Inside were photos. At first, they looked random. Me walking across campus, me sitting in the library, me unlocking my apartment door. All of them taken from a distance. Then I opened the last image. It was me in my bedroom, taken through the small ground-level window behind my desk. The timestamp said it was taken 2 nights earlier. I felt cold in a way I can't explain. I live in a basement unit, which means my windows are at sidewalk level. I had always thought the narrow hedge outside gave me privacy. Clearly, it didn't. I checked the rest of the USB. There were 27 photos total. Different days, different outfits, some taken at night. One photo showed me leaving the library at 11:52 p.m., the same night I found the USB. The angle was from across the street. Whoever did this had been following me for weeks. I didn't call the police. That's something I regret now. At the time, I was embarrassed. What would I even say? That someone took pictures of me? I had no suspect, no face, no threats, just photos. I convinced myself it could be a prank. I had a small group of friends from my program. We joked around a lot. Maybe someone thought this would be funny. But the photos didn't feel like a joke. They were calculated, patient. I started noticing things after that. In the university library, I'd feel eyes on me. I'd look up and see someone glance away too quickly. Once, a guy I didn't recognize was sitting 2 tables behind me. He didn't have a laptop out, just a notebook he never wrote in. When I left, he left. I stopped halfway down the hallway to tie my shoe. So did he. I told myself it was coincidence. At home, I began keeping my blinds closed all the time. I bought thicker curtains and nailed them in place. I moved my desk to the opposite wall so my back wasn't to the window. Every night, I'd hear small sounds outside. Footsteps on gravel, the faint rustle of leaves. I would freeze in my bed, holding my breath, trying to determine if it was just normal street noise. One night around 1 a.m., I heard something clearer, a soft knock on the window. Not loud, just 2 taps. I didn't move. Another tap, then silence. I didn't sleep at all that night. After that, I started walking home differently. I'd take random turns, sometimes doubling back unexpectedly. I'd stop at convenience stores and wait inside for 10 minutes before leaving again. I wanted to see if anyone was following me. Twice, I saw the same dark sedan parked near my building. I couldn't see the driver clearly. The windows were tinted. The third time I saw it, I memorized part of the license plate. The next day, it was gone. Weeks passed, and nothing escalated, but nothing stopped either. I'd occasionally find small things out of place. My doormat slightly shifted, a small scratch near my window latch that I didn't remember being there before. I became suspicious of everyone. My friends noticed I was distant. One of them, Mia, joked that maybe I had a secret admirer. I laughed, but I watched her face carefully when I did. I even considered my cousin, who lived in the same city and knew my schedule. He had helped me move in. He knew about the basement windows. I hated myself for thinking like that. About 3 months after finding the USB, I received another one. This time, it was inside my mailbox. No sticker, no name, just the drive. My hands were shaking when I plugged it in. There were only 5 photos on this one, all taken at night. Each one was of my bedroom window. The last photo was different. It wasn't from outside. It was from inside my room, taken from near the door, facing my bed while I slept. The timestamp was from 2 nights earlier. I threw up. I tore my apartment apart looking for signs of entry. The door showed no damage. The windows were locked. Nothing obvious was missing. I went to the police that morning. They took the USBs and filed a report. They checked my locks and told me there was no sign of forced entry. They suggested installing a camera. I bought 2 that same day. After I installed them, something changed. The random noises outside stopped. The sedan never appeared again. No more USBs. It's been almost a year now. Nothing else has happened. I moved to a different apartment above ground level. I don't stay late at the library anymore. I vary my schedule constantly. I don't post my location online. I barely use social media. Sometimes I wonder if installing the cameras scared them off, or if going to the police did, or maybe they got bored. There's one thing that still bothers me. The police returned my USB drives after extracting what they could. They said there were no fingerprints. A week after getting them back, I decided to check the first USB again. I don't know why. Maybe I wanted closure. I opened the folder. There were still 27 photos, but I don't remember one of them. It's a picture of me standing in the university library, looking directly at the camera. Not from a distance, not zoomed in. Close. Close enough that whoever took it was standing right in front of me, and I have no memory of that moment. The timestamp says it was taken at 11:43 p.m., 2 minutes before I found the first USB on the sidewalk. Sometimes I try to convince myself it was always there and I just didn't notice, but I've gone through those photos in my head so many times over the past year that I'm almost certain I would have remembered that one, which means one of 2 things. Either they were standing close enough to photograph my face without me realizing it, or they were closer than I ever thought possible, and I still don't know who they are. The shadows are watching. Will you return for more? Like and subscribe if you want to hear the voices that whisper.